Hey there, guys. Welcome to the Boru Podcast.
Hey, ¿qué pasa?
We are going to be discussing, Facebook, social media, and
And the rise and fall of Mark Zuckerman.
I wonder if these guys should be able to hear us.
Have them turn up their hearing aids.
Yeah. Well. See, how do you want to start this off? Last year, I told myself that because I actually left Facebook back in, I think it's March, and I told myself that I wasn't coming back, but because I was missing my friends, I just decided to come back on Facebook, and that was part of the reason why I came back on.
Yeah.
It's I just don't like, it turns me off sometimes, with Facebook, there are certain things, like a lot of the politics, that you're starting to see or starting to read about. I mean, the most famous quote of, on Facebook is shithole.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that came from,
Donald Trump.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Well, yeah, because he called he with something about Norway immigration, and he said that Norwegians are welcome, but none of those Africans and all these other places, those shitholes aren't welcome. So that's where it all comes.
Yeah, I saw on a map that on Facebook that they had like a bit of Norway, and somewhere around that area that it was all highlighted in blue, and while the rest were just all white.
Yeah.
But that seems to be like the most recent thing, and also the new thing is all of a sudden celebrities starting to
endorse everything,
and want to become president all of a sudden, and then you got Oprah, who else?
Madonna.
You got Madonna now.
Yeah.
And there was somebody else. I can't remember who was the third person that I read about. I know right before the election started, Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
He wanted to run for president.
Yeah.
For 2020. So I don't know what's going to happen. For 2020. I mean, right now I kind of feel bad about the Americans, that they're suffering and everything, and and even though that we also hate Trump, people are saying, well, you don't live in the States anymore, so that doesn't. I mean, we're still Americans, it's just he's still going to be our president for the United States, but even though I consider myself home here, but I also have a home in the States.
Right.
So it does affect us as well.
Well, we're still entitled to an opinion, and we can still vote.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it seems like to me, when Facebook started, it was more, maybe I'm wrong, but it was more blogs, and it was supposed to be humor and fun, and then right before the election, a bunch of mindless orbs, as I call them, started thinking Facebook was like CNN and Fox, and really accurate news instead of jokes and people having fun. And to me, I lost a lot of friends. I just dumped them because they were getting too crazy about murdering Trump and all this other stuff, and it was just craziness. And it was like, it used to be fun. And I've heard that since now they're going to redo the feed, and Facebook stock has dropped, and people are going to start using Twitter, which I actually prefer Twitter because Facebook censors, and it's always censoring, and it's getting worse and worse. I mean, you can't even joke around anymore because people report you for fake news or whatever it is, and it's just not fun anymore.
One of my friends, she was censored on Twitter. She said something about President Trump and she said the word fuck, you know,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, no,
and they
I'm
kind of like censored it, and now she was blocked on Twitter.
well. I'm not talking about offensive stuff. I mean, you can't go on on any of them and say you're going to kill somebody. I mean, but I'm talking about
Oh, yeah.
graphic content, that kind of stuff. It's not as censored as Facebook. Like Facebook, you can't show any. Well, I guess it's just genitals anymore because they show just about everything on Facebook except for genitals. So to me, it's just I don't know. It's become boring, and
I really don't take Facebook really seriously anyway.
Well, no,
I mean, a lot of people are.
Well, that's the thing. It was never meant to be taken seriously. It was supposed to be fun and people joking and having a good time, and somehow that election, just ruined it. It's not fun anymore. And I personally feel that I don't know if it's going to be able to recover because there's so much crap on it anymore. I mean, literally all I get anymore is recipes. That's about it. The rest of it I don't even pay attention to, or family post. That's about it. Because.
Right.
But anyway, social media is such a funny thing. Anyway, it's like, I look at people walking and they're all looking at their phones. They're on the bus, they're looking at their phones. They're in restaurants.
I know all their heads are down, and they just
and they're not seeing what's going on around them. They're looking at their tablet or computer, waiting for something to happen instead of looking at the world around them, seeing what's going on. It's really a shame, and I kind of wonder if we're going to have a generation in 20 years that can't work because they've all got bad necks from looking down at their tablet. We're going to have tablet syndrome.
I know, exactly, yeah.
But especially for me, since I have a walker, I don't know how many people almost run into me with my walker because they're on their phones. I mean, it's just like, if I ran into them with my walker, they'd bitch me out, but.
Yeah, they have a problem with staring at people with disabilities, and it's,
That's actually worse in the United States than it is here in Ireland. People are usually pretty good about helping opening doors and waiting for me to get through, but that's more the United States. So anyway, yeah, I actually I just use Twitter and Facebook. I hardly ever post on Twitter because it's I actually don't do a lot of posting anyway unless I think of something going on in the world that I think is really funny or abstract. But
yeah, it was supposed to be like that from the beginning and connect them with family and friends, and now it's just you're meeting new people, and I met quite a lot of nice people on Facebook, and I closed out one of my Twitter accounts. I must have like about 4 or 5 Twitter accounts for different things, such as the Boru Podcast, which I just recently opened, created earlier this year, so.
Well, Twitter sometimes is the only thing that bothers me about Twitter. You can have 100 friends, and if one of your friends posts, for example, a video of scat, then you're going to see that video of scat versus and you can't really block that out. And sometimes, let's say one of your friends looks at something that's totally gross and offensive. And so that's the problem. But to tell you the truth, I'd rather not have things censored. But that's me. But then I should be able to control what my friends are looking at. You know what I mean? Maybe there is an option. I just haven't looked at it. Where you can monitor that kind of adult content. Although I don't mind the adult content, I'd rather not see it, especially when I'm in family. But that's the other problem. If for Christmas, for example, I took my tablet because we wanted to contact people in the States, and I was worried that, when Brian's aunt and them were talking that, pop-ups were going to pop up, you know what I mean?
And they were
And they
popping
were.
up.
Tumblr.
That's why I was
Tumblr,
eyeballing you. And
yeah, I mean, Tumblr, and it's like, and...
Tumblr is like completely a lot with pornography, and, it's just...
Yeah, but,
And it's supposed to be mainly for like a little, like a blog sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I guess in the gay, lesbian
sections,
it's more important to throw out the pornography.
Well, it's not just pornography. Facebook does it too, where they show naked people with a towel over their genitalia, and but Twitter, it just, they do that also. Like
Twitter is really bad with that too,
and all that kind of stuff. And what if my niece or nephew, or Brian's niece or nephew, 6 or 7, wanted to play a game on my tablet and just grabbed it? That's one of the problems, and that's why at family, when we take it anywhere, I keep it locked, with the password, But
it's kind of funny that that year that we had a put a passcode on it, and they wanted to know that our old phone number. They asked my sister about it.
His niece, his cousin, nephew, wanted to know our password, and I said no, and he goes, well, what's your password? And I said, it's an old phone number. So he goes, Mom, what's Craig's old phone number? And I just started laughing. She wouldn't know it. It was 20 years ago. It's like, I've heard people say, it's the year I was born. Mom, what year was Craig born? Kids are smart, but anyway, social media, it just seems like it's controlling everybody's life anymore, and it's like people just don't, they're bored, and the reason they're bored is because they don't do anything. They're watching social media all the time. I can't stand when people say, I'm bored. When I was younger, there was only 4 channels on the TV.
I know, and you got board games.
We had board games, there was books, we went for walks, that kind of stuff. We went swimming or whatever. It's like, there's no excuse to be bored.
I know, it's like my sister, she wouldn't allow my niece to be able to go on any other social media. She's allowed to go to Snapchat because she thinks that when you take the photograph or you take short videos, you can't get it downloaded. But then I realized that you can. There is a way to do it,
and you can see graphic content on Snapchat too. So it's not as safe as everybody thinks. But then again, are we living in a society where people are so desensitized that they're not upset when something happens? They're actually watching social media for something bad to happen, so they can get excited about it and talk about it, and versus, like, for instance, 9/11, they keep showing that plane over and over again,
every single year
into that thing,
do that.
And people aren't realizing that's a video of all these people dying. You know what I mean? And it's like
why would you want to see someone dying?
It's not glorious. It's not.
Especially the guy jumping out of the building.
It's a sad thing, and it's like, but my point is that we become desensitized by media. I mean, movies, media, and all that stuff, and it's like, it's just not offensive anymore or bothersome. It's like people are just waiting to see it, and you have to see the video.
And they're just dying for 9/11 to come back again, and so they can be able to post it up again on Facebook.
Well,
it's just, it's a terrible way of thinking, but it's true that every year, you have to be reminded because someone has posted something about 9/11.
You shouldn't ever forget, but you don't need to keep posting that.
To be reminded.
It's like, there was bombings in London, and I think it was the train stations, and everybody wants to see the videos of people being blown up and body parts flying everybody. Why do you need to see that? If you want to see that in movies. It's not it's not movie. It's real. You know, it's not Friday the 13th, and it's like, so that's what I have a concern, that our society is becoming desensitized because of social media and instant access, that it's not really offensive anymore in that sense. It's become entertainment. You know, watching these videos and these bombings and all this stuff, it's become entertainment versus horrific. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're gonna watch it once. Do you need to see it over and over and over and over again? You know.
But I know I don't. You know. I mean, it's always going to be in the back of my head about the tragedies, and you know, and what really annoys me on about Facebook is that, you know, they you know, somebody, like, say requests you, and then you accept them. I know that they probably most likely go over your photos, and then they realize, well, you're not really good at looking at all. You know, so I'm going to take you off the friends list.
Right, or you don't have one blue and one green eye, and you know, you don't have blonde hair, and you're not 5'7.5", you're 5'6", and you know, and you wear a size 8 boot instead of a size 9, and it's just silly. But one thing I don't like about Facebook is, if you friend somebody, next thing you know, they're hitting you up for video chat, and
without even saying hi.
Without even saying hi, and you know. Over Christmas again, I had people that were just all of a sudden popping up for video chat, and people don't ask, and it's like, and you know, and there is no social skills, there is no manners, you know. People don't think that, you know, there is no boundaries, you know, that they can just video chat at any time, you know what I mean? And if you open it, you don't know what they're doing. You know, people, you open it up, and, you know, they can be doing
you got
whatever.
A few from, what is it, a few of them from Iraq?
Yeah, well, they, it's not Iraq. I don't like to deny anyone, you know, no matter where they're from. But I find that a lot of the Middle Eastern countries or African countries, they are pushy. You know, they want to see videos, nude videos, that kind of stuff. It's like, you know,
I'm sorry, I don't have that. So then what they do, they block you, or they take you off the friends list.
I get the, oh, you're beautiful. I love you. Come to wherever. And it's like, how can you say you love me when we haven't even talked?
Exactly, yeah, and you know, they also say marry me, and like, well, I don't even know you, so.
The other one I get is, if you're married, why are you on social media? You know, it's like, I you know, that one bothers me too.
A lot of singles, they have that problem with partnered people, you know, partnered or married people, that they have this problem that you shouldn't be on social media because, you know, what would your other half think, you know, about that, and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, just because you're on social media doesn't mean like you're always looking for sex or anything like that.
Well, that's the problem. You know, a lot of people are, and I've heard people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be on social media if you're married because you're going to take away people that I want to date." It's like, well, I'm married. Why would I take any of your anything away from you? And if you can't keep them, maybe you shouldn't be saying I'm bored all the time.
You know? I know.
It's like, how are you supposed to, you know, attract people if you're constantly saying I'm bored, I have nothing to do? It's like, you know, no interest. You know, it's like, I wouldn't want to talk to them. Anyway.
Yeah, that bothers me too. Like especially when those who don't have pictures of themselves or their face, you know, and I mean they sit and then they ask you, do you have a face picture?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a face picture. Why are you saying about us to having a face picture?
Exactly.
I already have a face picture on my profile.
Yeah, it just drives me crazy.
And then it's just sort of like, oh, well, you first, you know, that sort of game. And, you know, I'm not into that kind of game, you know. It's like, you know, you either talk to me or you don't.
Well, I kind of miss the old days where you had to, if you wanted to meet people, you had to go out, to a bar or a restaurant or to the park or hang out. And uh, people just don't do that. They'd rather sit at home or be at work and try to line somebody up for later. And it's not just about trying to pick people up for sex. It's social. It's being out there. It's just meeting people. And it's like I miss that because going out and actually being somewhere and interacting with people, and it's like,
yeah, it seems that a lot of the like you want to try to meet somebody. It's not like the old way of doing it. You go to the bar, you start chatting people up. Now it's like you literally go online, see people that you like. Hey, you want to hang out or whatever?
yeah.
And yeah, sure. You need the internet to be able to hook up with somebody.
Well, yeah, but then you've got people going to the bar who aren't really looking around and interacting, who are on social media trying to meet somebody, that's either in the bar or around the bar. So it's like, and they're not really even participating in the conversation. So it's like, so anyway, it's just abstract. Yeah.
So certain apps have
GPS.
like a GPS sort of thing, so you know who's closer to you.
Yeah.
From your profile. So they actually use those apps to see which ones are good looking and which not, and say, hey, meet me over here, such and such,
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's like they can't deal without it. They can't just go out on their own and just go out a bar or whatever. But like even back then, well, why do I have to meet you at a bar? That sort of way. It's like, well, I can't meet for coffee or
Exactly.
or like a little bite to eat or something.
Right. But I guess what I'm saying is that I think it's great that you can do that with social media, but you don't. But even if you're not meeting somebody somewhere for a cup of coffee, you should be able to still go out somewhere and sit and talk with people, having a beer or whatever, and just talk with people without the pressure of hooking up or whatever. I just used to go to the to the coffee shop and order a couple of cups of coffee and read or something, and and chat with people, and it's like
people don't do that anymore.
People don't do that anymore.
It's like you're going to a bar to get drunk,
right?
With the possibility of having sex with that person.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's always going to go on. But what I'm saying is that people have become distant or unattached, and they really don't want to communicate with you. They want it hot and now. They want the burger hot and they want it now. And it's like versus there. When I was younger, there was more of something called pursuit. Actually dating, getting to know somebody. Versus so that's a little different. Besides on social media, you get people that get a little drunk, and all of a sudden everybody's beautiful, and
everybody's beautiful.
Everybody's beautiful. It's like, oh, you're beautiful. Come home with me.
You're just horny.
You're gorgeous. There was a scene from Little Britain that cracks me up. There's a transvestite, and there are two of them, and she's saying, "I'm a lady doing lady things," and they would meet people at the bar, and in the morning they'd show them the guy waking up in bed, and the young guys look at him going, oh, God, I must have been drunk.
But I'm a lady.
I'm a lady doing lady things. Look at me, I'm a lady. That show is so funny.
What's good about some, the social media is that, I mean, just like Facebook is that you could be able to create your own community pages or
Yeah.
your own Facebook page. I mean, the Boru Podcast, they have its own Facebook page, and I have a few that's going around. For different purposes. One is about the gym, and another one is for my crocheting because I do crocheting, and it's just it does help. Within your community, people who has the same interests as you.
Yeah, I had a couple of pages, and I stopped doing it because I think I had one where there was like 3,500 people, and the problem I ran into is you'd get complaints. Oh, this person, I found, I found that post offensive, and I'm going to report you, and then and it's like, and then you've also got people that supposedly hack accounts, which but whatever.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to monitor when you've got a large group of people like that of what they're posting, and what they're not posting, because if you approve even a friend, that you know to post, that you just never know what they're going to post,
Exactly. Yeah.
And I finally had to stop, and it was becoming like I felt like a teacher teaching kindergarten, monitoring a bunch of children behaving like children, and the bickering and the fighting, and so I stopped it. It was becoming frustrating. But I'll tell you what, some of them, I did have a good laugh at some of the people fighting. It's like,
yeah. There was an incident that one of my old friends, growing up with, and he friend requested me on Facebook, and then he immediately went over to my photos, and saw me, in a swimming pool, with a lot of the other guys.
Yeah.
Which people do.
Yeah.
So, and then he's saying that he was complaining that to me that his son
Right.
looked over his shoulder, and he says, "Why are all those men, in the same pool?" So my friend, he yelled at me. I said, "Well, that's not my problem. That you didn't discuss your child, why are people in the same pool?
And why is that offensive?
Why is it offensive? Yeah, I mean, you have to be teaching your children that. I mean, it's I don't at that time. I don't know how old the child was, but he was enough, according to him, to that he was old enough to know why are there are a lot of guys in the same pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Swimming around. So.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't doing anything wrong. We had our swimming trunks on. Some of the guys, they had their shirts on, because they feel more comfortable with that,
Yeah.
So I had to end up blocking him. I blocked him as well as his whole family. Because I don't want it to go around back to me and all that kind of shit, so I just don't really want to be bothered with that.
Yeah, but there's certain aspects of it. I like knowing what's going on in the world, but I don't sit around waiting for something to happen. I just like knowing what's going on in the world, and the social media and the internet is great for that. But you've got to have a life still. I mean, you can't just be sitting there waiting for something to happen. And it
Some people do that. I mean,
that's what they do.
It's the same thing with Twitter.
Yeah.
They always check their iPods or their phones or whatever to see
who died or
who died
did
and,
this
all that kind of stuff. So,
or who sexually harassed this person, and it's getting crazy. Television is another form of social media, and you're being controlled about what you're being to see what you can see on TV, you know, and it's you know, and you don't even realize that it's being done. You know what I mean? You know. So anyway, that's, you know, before I go on a rant, and now for something completely different.
Now back to a word on a sponsor.
Yeah. Oh, money. I could order Chinese food with some money. So anyway, it's been an interesting conversation, and I've enjoyed talking to you, and I hope I hope I haven't mortally offended someone by my opinions. You know.
If you do, then unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe.
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me people unfriending me on Facebook,
no.
You know, or anything like that. You know, some people take that as an offense. You know, you know, they say hi to you, they unfriend you, and then you type them back, hey, how you doing? And then you look on their profile, and then you realize that they unfriended you already.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what's that all about?
Exactly. Who cares? You know, to me, it's okay to have an opinion. I don't necessarily have to agree with it, and I will discuss it, but it's okay to have a different opinion. I mean, I grew up in the 60s and 70s where it was okay to have an opinion. It was okay to stand up.
Now you can't.
You know, you can't do that.
You can't have an
opinion
anymore without people being offensive about it.
People will kick your ass, you know, if they don't agree with your opinion. You know,
people will be assholes.
They're just nasty. So, you know, it's okay to be different and ask questions. You know, I mean, but you know, people used to tell me there is no such thing as a stupid question. It's like, yeah, there's some stupid questions. it's like there's some stupid questions out there, but it's okay to ask them. You know, but there are some really people that are just, I want to slap, but anyway.
Really, like, fucked up people in the head, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Just wake up. You know, but anyway. So, is there anything else?
I think that's about it.
About it.
I mean, this is all improvised, so I didn't write anything down as a reminder, which I should start to be doing.
Why? I can't read anyway.
No,
just kidding.
Well, if you can't read, that's your problem. Yeah, so I guess this is a short one, I guess. Yeah. It's only a half hour. Oh. You know, so do you have anything else to say? I mean, I can give out recipes for Jello shots. I've been craving Jello shots lately. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, anyway, they're always good, but you know.
Probably should have brought some. You know, some ingredients.
You just make Jello and put alcohol in it.
Alcohol in it, yeah.
You know, but you know, I'm sure there's more fancy ways, more fancy shots out there than Jello shots. But I actually like Jello shots because it was kind of like having a treat, but it was an adult treat. Yeah. But anyway. We're sitting around having
our little cocktails.
A Captain Morgan's and a Diet Coke. Sorry, I said brand name. Ignore that. So anyway, I find here though in Ireland people are a little more social than they are in the States.
They're definitely more friendlier because you can walk down the street and a person will say hi to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but
I mean, you don't see many of them doing the social media. You know, while they're walking down the street. You know, I mean, you'll see them if you're at the cafe or whatever, and but I'm sure that if you have a few people around the table, at a coffee shop you will see them talking, if they have something to talk about.
Well, I'm going to probably get some flack on this one, but I personally feel when I was younger, we weren't allowed to go see R-rated movies, and we weren't allowed to do until we got to be a certain age. And I think that with tablets these little kids won't get these tablets and stuff, you know, that have access to, social media and that kind of stuff. You know, I think that, you know, parents need to set up, you know, block that stuff till they're a certain age, because, you know, there's bullying and all that other stuff, and it's like, do kids really, I understand they need it for educational reasons, but, you know, there's books out there, you know, it's like, and we've got a generation growing up desensitized because they're looking at social media, you know, and it's
they're doing it. They're doing it all the time. They don't know what it's like, you know, of growing up without electronics. You know, enough electronics in a way with laptops or you know, we were growing up, you know, with just board games and you have to find your playtime.
Well,
going out to play and hanging out with your friends and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they don't do that. They don't do that anymore.
Well, you know, my mom, you know, she had kids when I was in high school, and she bought them phones when they were 6 or 7 because she wanted to communicate with them, and that's fine. I understand that theory, but buy them a phone that doesn't have internet. They don't need to have a tablet. They can have a phone. You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
a regular phone that
doesn't have internet, and that's
exactly,
it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, because kids are kids, and it's like, you know.
But kids, you know, the kids are spoiled these days because of, you know, they look at their friends and well, they have internet access on their phones. You know, why can't we have it?
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of like somebody told me once. How do you know when a teenager is lying when they're talking? Because that's all a part of being a kid.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, you're trying to see something you're not supposed to see. You know, or drink something you're not supposed to drink, or whatever. You know, that's all a part of being a kid. And you know, sometimes you have to say no to your kids. You know.
They don't know they don't know the word no.
Right. Well, they know it. They just don't want to hear it.
My youngest niece, you know, she's pretty much spoiled, and you know, I don't even know if she has a phone yet. I wouldn't be surprised if she does have a phone.
Maybe, I don't know.
She's like 6 or 7 now, so yeah, I would say that she'll probably have a phone by now.
Probably or soon.
You know, and her parents are just kind of like, you know, they're very soft-hearted towards her, and they say, no, don't do that. And then my sister, you know, one day, I guess she went to the living room or the bedroom while she was sleeping. She goes, all right, get up. Man, keep it down.
Yeah, quiet.
You know, quiet.
Yeah.
My mom's like, none of this fucking nonsense. Get up.
Get up. I'm sick. Get up. You're not vomiting. Get up. It's like you're going to school.
My mother knows all these tricks, you know, through us.
Yeah.
I know you're not sick.
You're not sick. Trust me. Do you think I'm staying home from work to watch you all day? You're not sick. Get your ass up. No. I don't want to have pork chops for dinner. Too bad. We're having pork chops. None of this. I want macaroni and cheese, and Lisa wants ribs, and Debbie wants this. It's like, no, you're having pork chops. That's it. You know. And I want spaghetti. Anyway, we're getting a little sidetracked here.
Yeah, I guess we're going to end this now.
Okay.
It's hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. You have any last words?
No.
No.
Tina Turner's great. She rocks.
Tina Turner, yeah. Tina Turner. She rocks. She is the queen.
The queen, the acid queen. Yes.
Yeah. So I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying this weekend.
Okay.
And we will catch you later.
Okay. Cheers.
Bye.